The nicest sound in the nature it's when the wind blows through the leaves, the tree leaves, and also when there's rain falling on top of palm leaves, merged together with the sound of the wind. That's the perfect sound.
My name is Robin. Yeah, I live at Montplaisir. I'm 37 years old, but I work as a beach sailor at Ancelagio, selling fruits, selling coconuts. That's my life, that's my living.
Hi, so my name is Jude and I'm from the Seychelles Island and I've born here, raised and I work here. So this is part of what we do in the weekend, you know. Seychelles is an island, archipelago, and nature is part of our life growing up as a kid on the beach and the forest. And yeah, so in my pastime, I go for walks with my dogs and enjoy the beauty of the island. So thank you.
My name is Ashley. I work at Mango Lodge. I am currently the hotel manager slash receptionist slash reservationist slash jack of all trades. Um, I've I'm from Pralin. I've been living on Pralin my whole life. I went to school on Mahe. I worked on Mahe for a little bit, but mostly I'm Pralinois through and through.
So my name is Alan. Okay, come from Belaza. So I was born here in Seychelles. It's my birth place was in Nagasoya. And being in school at Belaza, then went to the National Service, which is that we spent 2 years.
I'm Julien Leon, known as a nature boy. I'm a police officer officially for 21 years in service. But my hobby it's always exploring the nature and doing hike and adventure, and spending more of my time, free time, always surrounded by the nature.
I grew up in a hood, like Montplaisir, just down here, from the main city down here. But in my small lifetime, I'm I like beach a lot. Every day I go to the beach, yeah, play football, sailing, something with twist coconut, everything. But I grow with that. But I'm still doing this thing.
So, from my childhood, when I have got knowledge, I was living with my mom and stepfather in the middle of the forest as a family. And from now, my interest has been became more and exploring the nature since I was young, and till today, I didn't stop being in the nature. And sometimes I even go to the forest alone for 3 months, the longest time I stay in the forest by myself for 3 months as a
That's
survivor.
amazing.
Yeah.
Then you the survival prof here on the Seychelles, right?
Maybe, yeah.
You told us that you traveled a lot as a child with your parents, or
My mom mostly. She did a lot of. She went to Dubai, South Africa, because during those time, where our airline company Seychelles had a lot of direct flights, so the tickets were accessible to people. Because I grew up rather middle class, you'd say, lower middle class to touching upper middle class every once in a while, but then going back. So, growing up, I grew up with my mom and my dad. They are now unfortunately divorced, but I grew up as a only child for about 9 years. So during those 9 years, I had all the attention and everything, the funds directed towards me. So I got a chance to explore Kenya, and my mom was a very dedicated shopping person. So she enjoyed having me push the trolley. And I remember the trolley was bigger than me, so I always see me pushing through the hours of the shopping. And she'd, okay, we need this, we need that, we need that. It would always fall right around that last week before the school holiday finishes. So I would get all my fancy pencil cases and my nice backpacks and all my shoes and things like that. So my impression of traveling is mostly about getting something from another place. It's shopping mostly, rather than experiencing. I'm not gonna say I didn't experience a couple of things. I remember visiting zoos, and when I was around 8, I had a very white Christmas in England with my uncle. Best 4 weeks. It was the best times. I indulged so much in so many things, that everything that an 8-year-old could possibly indulge in, from food to gifts to I'm a big reader, so my cousins had bookshelves and bookshelves of books, and I just sat down in the middle of the night, especially with the time difference. There was like 4 to 6 hours of time difference. I wake up at 4 in the morning, I just read. That left a very good impression as a child of what
You must have felt like in another world.
exactly. And plus it was cold, it wasn't hot, and I have very frizzy hair, so over there it was very calm. So it was a very nice experience. So for me, if I ever do travel, it will be for the experience rather than the shopping itself. So yeah.
Most of my life I've traveled, yes. Yeah, I've been to Venice, Mauritius, Croatia.
Oh, right.
Places like that.
Far winds.
Yeah, on my vacation, so just went here. And took in Seychelles as well. I don't believe, I know I will live my life forever here.
Yeah.
This is the most beautiful countries and most significant countries you will see, because you know the world is changing and there's been a lot of different things happening, like the wars and stuff. And Seychelles will be very sufficient.
Yeah, so as an island boy, so I've traveled to Europe as well, because I like to explore, I like to visit, I like to meet new people, make friends. And for me, my first impression being in Europe was really exciting, but totally different from where I'm from. But still, I've been to Germany, and I had the chance to go a bit in the wild, camping, and it was fun. It's different, but still you could enjoy the life there. So yeah.
I've been in India, especially in Gujarat. I've been there for study, but I miss the nature itself. And I've been in UAE also for study. Again, I miss the nature. And I've been in Tanzania, but I don't really like it because there's a lot of dangerous animals in the woods. But compared to Seychelles, all our animals are not poisonous. So we can make friends, unless if you don't harm the animals or insects, they will not harm you.
The thing is that because I traveled so much as a child, for me the idea of removing myself from a place I'm already quite comfortable and quite safe feels a little bit like a huge amount of effort that I have to put into it. I do see the sense of growth that it would give me if I remove myself from a comfortable area and put myself in an uncomfortable situation. It would help me grow as a person. I would experience new things. But at the same time, with the way I'm set up here, I'm quite comfortable. I'm a nester. I'm like a chicken, a hen. I'm always building a nest. So it's like I've got my little nest here. Everything is good. I don't see any reason to go anywhere else. And especially because now, when you need something, it comes to you rather than you needing to go to it. People come here not because they want to buy something here, because they want to experience the country. And since I'm already in the country experiencing it, it's like why? Maybe one day when I see it more as an indulgence rather than a necessity, I might be like, okay, so let's go for a holiday for like a month. Let's explore.
Here on Seychelles, it's a real paradise. Yeah. When I want to stay in Seychelles, I don't want to travel.
Seychelles is a tourism destination, and that's the #1 industry in the Seychelles, tourism and fishing. So the people, the island people, I think most of the people you meet around on the street, they are very friendly and ready to help. And we like to share our culture, you know, especially like the food. It's a mix. Seychelles, we have mixed culture from India, Africa, and Europe. So our cuisine, it's all about a fusion, I would say. Lots of spice, but very tasty. And I think that's one thing also which makes Seychelles famous. And of course, for many tourists, it's not that cheap to come to Seychelles, but for those who make it, I think you will not regret it for your holiday, your vacation, or your honeymoon. So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've already noticed that Seychelles is considered a luxury destination, and the word luxury comes with a price tag. So, if when a person who lives in a first world country, like from Europe, already when they come here, they say, oh, the country's quite expensive. You can imagine what the locals must feel like as well. So, yeah.
But some of the tourists are really not, high potential. They know about the country, yes. And sometimes they live in villages. They don't. They should be going to the local market rather than just the hotels and everything.
There's one thing, specifically, they need to use sort of lotion that is eco-friendly, because, for example, the sun cream affect some kind of insect in the nature. I say that because I noticed before COVID, where the place visitors go, passing a trail, it's rarely you found an insect. But after the COVID does close down, a few months later, you'll see all the insects return to the natural habitat as if in the old house. So that's for me give me the idea that they've been affected by the smell of the body lotion, all sort of things. But it's better if they can use things that more eco-friendly to protect our nature, especially our species. I spend most of my spare time in the forest. I don't like to go disco or a large group of people around, but for me myself to be in the nature alone, it's my pleasure and it's my way of enjoyment.
So yeah, there's not much like big cinema in the country. There's only one cinema, and we play the movie for a whole week. So there's not much activity. So you have to be creative. You have to go out with friends, plan hikes, and explore in the forest, meet snorkeling, diving, fishing. So these are the types of activity we do, and like we still go to fish for our consumption. Some people still do that. Some people will still grow their own vegetable. So in another way, it's like a bit of sustainability living. So not much plastic. So I think Seychelles is doing pretty well in terms of sustainability. So yeah.
Time in life doesn't go by as quickly, in a way. A lot of people who come here, they have the expectation of things needing to be done very quickly, very precisely, very on time. But here, the locals, the kids, everyone has a bit more of a laid-back attitude. Even the people who are at the echelon of government, for example, or are very strict business people who are already doing very stressful jobs, even they themselves have a bit of a relaxed, laid-back way in the way that they do the thing.
My favorite place most of the time it's in the forest, in the woods. Especially I have a group of friends that I create my group of hike adventure. I have 22 members, mostly women. And a part of mountain, I like to enjoy myself on the beach, mostly beach so isolated, where they're surrounded with nature, forest, but no houses or any infrastructure nearby. But this was so peaceful, where no people going days every day there.
I do notice that I tend to take the fact that I live in technically a tropical paradise for granted, because if I stand next to the beach and I'm looking at the water, I just go, yeah, this is nice. But then 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I've got work to do. I've got to go back home now. So think it's in a way that most people who grew up here are a bit spoiled. We are aware that we're quite lucky because we're in a sort of bubble, especially because of our location, because of our climate, because of we don't have that many predators and all of that. So whenever we have someone tell us, oh, you live in a beautiful place, we're like, yes, thank you. But it's not exactly our doing that we live in a beautiful place. We were sort of just born here, raised here. So we don't really know of any other way to feel or be.
Qui m'en connaît, on donne plusieurs fois. La bouche passée pour faire, on y descend, mais permet de mon guitare pour lui faire ouiller. Il pas facile pour faire ou les qui encore, ça m'en connaît. Plus difficile pour content encore, ça m'en connaît. Mais si ce qu'on est, bel état, m'en peut espérer pour sentir ça sans son. Pas expecter bouquet ou sortir coup de monde, mais expecter l'amour, mais quel est ton shampoo? Regarde mon lens qui tout désiré, mon CV vient déhancer, il clair qui m'en a pas la sang. Mon pas pour faire barrer les autres, il fait pour mon fait ou quoi, qui m'en sent, qui ou mérité. Mais si les ou écoute ça, son, les quais palpitent, chérie dans mon Lakle. Y'en a bonne qui ne sait assez mon léger, mais bon Dieu n'y va les mon zoo de l'intention.
So again, like I said earlier, Seychelles is only 96,000 people, so it's a small island, and there's not much to do after work. And sometimes people will feel bored, and and they get into alcohol and drugs. So, but you just have to be positive, have a strong mind, and do things like hiking, fishing, going out, don't let yourself get carried away with this bad influence, so just be positive.
Thank you so much. It was great.
You guys walk in straight line,
Yeah.
Right? Because everything is moving so fast, so you have to move with it. But here we allow we go within the space.
Right.
Okay? Remember where you stay? It's what's the building. Not
That's
like
right. You can't imagine to live there, right?
No, I don't see it.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
You're
man.
very welcome, my friend.
There's this international way of thinking that most people who tends to be in office work they don't do things with their hands, they mostly do things behind a computer, pencil pushers, so to speak. And this is sort of like a universal truth wherever you go in the world. But even if I might get frustrated when I want something done and then someone else is taking their time, I'm like, yeah, if I was in your shoes, I'd probably be the same way as well. So I can't really hold it against them because it's like the vibe of the country, of where you live in. And at the same time, we don't really see an example of everyone else just quickly doing things quickly. So you're like, well, if they're taking it slow, I might as well take it slow as well.
My wish for the next generation, I wish that they can take more care about the nature, protect the nature, stop destroying, and rebuild the nature for the future generation. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we will lose our jewelry that is called nature.
Ça l'étant il là pour nous discuter. Ça l'étant il là pour nous arranger. Plusieurs fois nous dialoguer mais on peut nous attraper. Présent qu'il est mon sait bouger.
Well, my mom did a lot of catering as I'm growing up, and because my relationship with food and everyone in the family, we have a very emotional attachment to food. So food is something we enjoy because we associate good memories and good times with it. So from fish to meat to vegetables to fruits to desserts to main course and stuff, and the whole thing. I think I've been through almost everything you could every possible version of dishes that you could make with the ingredients available locally. And of course, my all-time favorite is always dessert, because as you can see from my cheeks, I'm very much into eating sweet things. And my favorite is always the ladub, which we spoke about before. And it's this wonderful, amazing combination of starchy roots in the form of cassava, sweet potatoes, and yams that they layer from the hardest root to the softest, and then they might add a few slices of breadfruit, and then the soft plantain bananas that have started to get a bit ripe at the top. Then you could add your sugar, your spices, vanilla and cinnamon and nutmeg and such. Give it a bit of a shake. Then you add your coconut. Some people prefer the very fat, heavy coconut cream. Some people prefer a bit more runny coconut milk. But I'm like a 50-50 kind of person. I like the whole thing in there. And then just as it reaches just underneath the top, so that the bananas are half submerged and not, you just let it sit there. You don't stir, you just do one little shake every once in a while, until when you get a toothpick or something pointy, you poke the last roots at the bottom, and it goes through, and it's soft, and then you know it's ready. And it's...
What is the best food, Jan? What do you like?
My best food, well, all coconut food. Food cooked with coconut milk and masala. We call it curry cocoa. For me, top. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Julian, it was really nice.
Mais aujourd'hui, mon abattoir, mon abattoir n'a pas raison. Pousser en bas, ou la trappe qui on sait pour moi. Quand la peau fait mal, mon pasto dans mal. Si pour comme ça, pas besoin m'imaginer fois. Où tu vraiment dans bon lomé, pas réaliser ça, même parfois mon envie aller, mais mon tour entassé, ça résultat taillé que la vie. L'expectation d'arriver encore poussé que mon la paix, mon prier, mais bon Dieu d'ici pour aller, l'équipe pour aller. Dans sa la vie ou besoin faire des réflexions. Dans sa la vie ou besoin éviter l'obsession. Sacrifice mon fait. Il est où ou non paillé. Faut de où essayer lever. Mais aujourd'hui, mon abattoir, mon abattoir n'a pas raison. Pousser en bas, ou la trappe qui on sait pour